Okay, welcome to part two, everybody. If you're watching part two, you've not watched part one, do go and watch part one. All right, it's up in the card that should appear right now. You just click on that, and that'll take you to the other or part one. All right. Knight states supporting these churches hit me most as a black person. It has been a challenging time to be black in America. The campaign has raised $38,000 so far. Remember, their goal was just $10,000. They raised that within 12 hours. All right? And the month of Ramadan is not even over yet, and they've got 38 grand. About which Knight reports the response has been overwhelmingly supportive. There have been a few people who were confused about why Muslims would rebuild a church, but for the most part, people are totally on board. I want to stop there. Again, it goes back to the ignorance of the American Christian. And then even worse than that is the black American Christian, the most ignorant. The most ignorant. The most. You understand? You don't know the beauty of faith. You don't know it. And it breaks my heart. You can't access it. You can't access it. Because you're looking for it where it does not exist. And so when she mentions that there are those that are confused because you don't know anything about Muslims, you have no idea. First of all, most of my people think that all Arabs are Muslims and that only Arabs are Muslims. None of that's true. None of it's true. Most Arabs are not Muslims. You need to know that. And by default, all Arabs are not Muslims. As I say, I know many Christian Arabs. I personally know. You can't say to the black Christian Allah when the very language that Jesus spoke, the word he would have used to describe the Most High is Allah. That your Arab Christian brothers and sisters in Arab speaking countries in their Bible, their word for God is Allah. But you can't even get past the semantics of words. This is how pathetic you are. This is the level of abject ignorance that you're in. That you can't even get past words. Again, like I say, you can never have religious discussion with American Christians. Certainly not black Christians. At least white Christians, I'm going to give them this. White folk, be they Christian or not, generally tend to display some sort of intellectual curiosity because they nosy. You see? So you can actually have discussion with them. I've had many discussion about Islam with white Christians or white non-Christians. They know something or they want to know something. Here I'm hosting a black YouTube channel. I put out videos like the Quran and the Bible, and my people are not intellectually curious. But you can't even have conversation with black Christians because they think they know it all. Nope, Massa gave me this, and so I know I must know it all. The worst. And the very people that need to be liberated out of darkness, the very people you can't even have conversation with. Yes, Muslims will help you. Yes. But the white man's got you thinking Muslims are all terrorists and all the other crap. You see? And you as an African should just have the African instinct to reject anything that the white devil says or gives you or tells you about anybody because of all the stuff that he says and has said about your ass. The coalition includes the Muslim Anti-Racism Collaborative, the Arab American Association of New York, and Ummah Wide. Ummah means community, everybody. The coalition wrote on the campaign's website that American Muslim communities are vulnerable to the same type of intimidation faced by black communities. The website specifically states, quote, "The American Muslim community cannot claim to have experienced anything close to the systematic and institutionalized racism and racist violence that has been visited upon African Americans." I say this to you all the time. You're living vastly different lives than the Muslim. We don't have a Mike Brown. We don't have a Von Derek Myers. We don't have even the sister that walked up, had gotten into the car accident and went up to the dude's house, had been drinking, and he shot her in the face and killed her. We don't have that. We don't have campus rape and, it's just anything you're going to name. We don't have it. Your life is like a Twilight Zone. Luckily, I can understand it and diagnose it because I'm an African. Thank God. Everything my people are going through, even the little petty arguments that I see here online, and all the anecdotal books and videos and all sorts of things about how black men and black women can't get along, and the woman's role, and all that stuff is foreign, everybody. Everything about your life, God has covered it in the Quran in detail. There was even a women's movement, a women's lib movement in this country where they burned their bras and all of it. Women were given their rights nearly 1,500 years ago with the revelation of the Quran. We don't have none of this. We don't have any of this. You've got hypertension. You've got high blood pressure. You've got diabetes. You've got heart disease. We don't have any of that. Every test point of your life that you want to cite, Muslims are not dealing with that. We have no idea what you're dealing with, what you're talking about. Again, I do. Black Muslims, we understand. We understand. Again, I'm an African. I'm a black man. But I walk, but I belong to both worlds because I am a Muslim. I'm in a position to tell you, your whole life is foreign. Your whole life is foreign. Everything about it. We don't have none of that. Do you understand? Name me anything. Anything. So my challenge is always to try and speak to my people on your level. That's not my level. Muslims are living vastly different lives than you. And I always say, because God hears us. He don't hear you. He don't hear you. You're praying to Jesus. You're worshiping Jesus. You're giving him all the credit. You're not even glorifying the one that created you. God don't hear you. He said that. Not because I say it. He has said it. He has said it. Then you fearing mankind. This is why you don't rise up against your oppressor. You're fearing mankind. You can't be bothered to lose your job or lose something or give your life or something like that. The Muslim is only fearing the one that created us. That's it. I've told you in recent pieces that the people that are on the internet, even the so-called conscious community, none of those are Christians. They're either, some of them, Hebrew Israelite people, which are still basically Christians. All right? But I pray Allah they will come into truth. All right, because you can't claim you're not a Christian and you're still reading the same book. That I can't. That I don't understand how you end up with an Eiffel Tower if you're reading the blueprint and the plans of how to build a space shuttle. No, we building an Eiffel Tower. They building a space shuttle, but we building an Eiffel Tower. But you're looking at the blueprint for a space shuttle. What are you telling me? Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. See, but my overall point is that nobody who is speaking fervently, I think that's the word I want to use here, and passionately and with conviction against this oppression in this country, none of that comes from Christians. And certainly nobody is saying what the Jedi is saying. Otherwise there'd be no need. I would never have started doing YouTube videos last year. Wouldn't be any need for me, because I would have heard my voice. Nobody's saying what I'm saying. And alas, I'm a little insulted and honored at the same time to say that I hear people saying my words, trying to take my stuff as their own. Whatever. Whatever. But my point is, the Christian doesn't have the heart of the lion. There's no heart of the lion in the Christian. What you get from them is love and forgiveness. Love your enemy. Sit down with them and have breakfast and dinner and lunch and all of it. Invite them over to your house. Nah. It's not the way of the Muslim. It's not the way that God ordained for you to be. It's not it. Vastly different lives, everybody. Vastly different lives. On any level. On any level. On any level that you would want to cite. And it kills me because the recipe for the liberation of my people is already present and at hand. But you can't be bothered to know about it. God does the things that he said he would do for mankind. He does that. But he expects something from you. And you thinking that you have some personal savior and a black card that entitles you to heaven and paradise after this lifetime is not part of it. That's the truth, whether I speak it or not. It remains the truth. Now, she goes on. We do, however, understand the climate of racially inspired hate and bigotry that is being reignited in this country. We want to let our African American brothers and sisters know that we stand in solidarity with them during this dark hour. We don't have any mosques being burned down. We don't. Why is it you that's being so oppressed when they're flashing ISIS and Al-Qaeda across the screen 24 hours a day and telling you how bad Muslims are? I've already cleared that up for you. A billion times I've said this. Here you have millions of Muslims right here in America and you never hear anything about us. Never hear anything about us. In Dearborn, Michigan, you have the highest concentration of Muslims in the United States. And many of you didn't even know that until I just spoke it. You never hear anything about us. That should tell you, well, wait a minute now, if there's millions of Muslims right here in this country, and I don't hear nothing about them, ever, why is it that they telling me all this stuff about Islam and Muslims on TV? Because they're trying to steal what the Muslims have in those parts of the world. And they don't even tell you there's Christians there. They go, oh, that's all just a Muslim country, and they attack it, and look how bad they are, to steal their crap. I always tell you, the white man never changes his record. That alone should open up a door of intellectual curiosity for you. Do you understand that you had the highest conversion of people to Islam after 9/11? All this talk about Islam, people were like, well, at least the intellectuals, not the black Christians, not y'all ass, because you can't be bothered to do anything that requires anything of you, even if it's serving God. You see, you don't want to even do the work that God requires from you to serve him even. But others of intellectual curiosity, well, they're all this talk about Islam, let me look at it. You had a huge migration of people to the religion of Islam after the fake attacks of 9/11 that were staged by the United States government and its military. It goes on to say, all houses of worship are sanctuaries, a place where all should feel safe, a place we can seek refuge when the world is too much to bear. We want for others what we want for ourselves. The right to worship without intimidation, the right to safety, and the right to property. But I dare say, if a Muslim mosque was burned down, if anything, it would be the white Christians that would be coming. If any Christian, it would be the white ones. It would be the white ones. It wouldn't be the black ones. It wouldn't. It wouldn't. I never understood, and I will never understand, as an African, as one who is socially and consciously and historically aware of who I am, how any of my people could pin their salvation on a doctrine given to them by the one who is daily trying to destroy you from the earth. The same one that put up whites only this and whites only that. You would believe that he wants you sitting next to him in heaven. Because he thinks he's going to heaven. He believes that. He's sick-minded. White people believe they're going to heaven. They think that. They believe that. But that any African would believe that is astonishing to me. Even if I chose to be an atheist tomorrow, I would never, as an African who is aware of his enemy, his environment, and his condition, would say, you want me to take that? That's like somebody who you know poisons people all the time, and they invite you over for lunch, and they hand you a glass of water. You're going to drink that glass of water? Well, you are drinking that glass of water already. Huh? It's called Christianity. You're already drinking the glass of water. Bon appetit. Now this other one says, since the June 17th fatal shooting of African Americans inside the damn house of death, alright? I'm sick of their 15-minute titles. Some 6 black churches have been torched throughout the South. According to Al Jazeera, 3 Muslim organizations, Muslim Anti-Racism Collaborative, the Arab American Association of New York, and the Ummah Wide, have created the Respond with Love campaign to raise money to help rebuild those churches burned since the massacre last month. Too many. It is clear that these are attacks on black culture, black religion, and black lives, the campaign website reads. It's Ramadan, and we are experiencing firsthand the beauty and sanctity of our mosques during this holy month. All houses of worship are sanctuaries, a place where you should feel safe, and we already read that. While all the church burnings are still under investigation and have not been reported as hate crimes, 3 are suspected arson attacks. So far, the campaign has raised 29,000. Okay, so it was more than that. It's more than that now. So that first article, I guess, was the most recent. Has raised 29,000 in 6 days. And according to the site, once the campaign ends July the 18th, which by the way will be the end of Ramadan, the group will disperse funds to the pastors of the church of the churches most in need. The American Muslim community cannot claim to have experienced anything close to the systematic. Again, we already read that. All right. Said the organizer Imam Zaid Shakir. Shakir added, "We do, however, understand the climate of racially inspired hate and bigotry that is being reignited in this country. We want to let our African American brothers and sisters know that we stand in solidarity with them during this dark hour as a small symbol of that solidarity during this blessed month of Ramadan." All right. And finally, this little short piece. A coalition of Muslim groups has launched an online fundraiser to help rebuild predominantly African American churches damaged in a recent, at least 8 churches. The church burnings took place. Too many. It is clear that these attacks on black culture, we read that. It's Ramadan. We're experiencing firsthand the beauty and sanctity. The coalition, which consists of U.S. organizations, Muslims, let's see, like black communities in the United States. The coalition wrote, the African American community cannot claim to have, let's see, however, Muslims can stand. All right. Just 65 miles north of the church where professed white supremacist Dylan Roof allegedly killed 9 people, investigators took samples from charred rubble of Mount Zion AME Church. Authorities said last week they were assessing whether anything was used to accelerate the blaze at the church, which the KKK burned to the ground 2 decades ago. 2 other church burnings, God's Power Church and some other House of Death, were also suspected arson attacks, are being investigated. Authorities have not classified any of these fires as hate crimes. You see, they won't even classify your stuff as a hate crime. The disrespect that my people are getting. You see what I'm saying? I tell you all the time. We're vastly different lives, everybody. We get respect. We get respect. So one of y'all get killed, and they tell you we have an ongoing investigation. You can't know anything. Huh? We had a brother in Boston that was shot down by devils. And I'm personally a little conflicted on whether or not he was Muslim or not. I don't know. I assume he was because his brother is an imam and a leader of the community. But whatever. That's not important. The fact of the matter is that he was being associated, I guess, recognized as Muslim. He was shot on Tuesday. On Wednesday, they had the entire Muslim community sitting in there in rooms with all the top people in the city, looking at the video of what happened and holding joint press conferences with them. You understand? And giving answers. And you had the commissioner, somebody high up, saying they won't even release the video to the public until the family has seen it, until after they say they can release it to the public. This is just one of a million, I say it again, a million examples I could give you of how the Muslim is treated with respect and dignity in this nation. Do you understand? In spite of what you hear on CNN and all of it. It is the Muslim that gets the respect. Period. And while I've had my own run-ins with police growing up in this nation, because of my name, and how I carry myself, you understand? I have been afforded treatment that I know I would not otherwise have been afforded had my name been John Jenkins and I was a damn Christian. Do you understand? Nobody respects that. You're not respected as that. You have rappers wearing huge crucifixes around their neck, all bedazzled with, diamonds and gold and all of it. You see? That symbol has nothing to do with Isa alayhi salam. Has nothing to do with him. Even Biggie called it a Jesus piece. Huh? I thought that was so fitting because it's just a Jesus piece. It means nothing. It means nothing. Meanwhile, I don't see Jews wearing swastikas around their neck. Why they got you wearing a cross? First of all, Christ didn't die on a cross. That didn't happen. I don't care what the white man has told you. You can listen to what the white man tells you. I'm listening to what the creator of the heavens and the earth has said to mankind. That indeed Jesus was not crucified. Indeed, they didn't even kill him. Allah gave him the ascension. You don't know what that word looks? Go look it up. That's why I stress so much about religion, everybody, because I absolutely understand what you don't. And that is, it's directly tied to your oppression. Directly tied. Directly tied. Directly. You have weight loss commercials and body sculpting and all that stuff in this nation. We don't have that as Muslims. Why would you need that? Why would you need that? You've been told, my black women have been told, that you're empowered if you're wearing absolutely nothing. You see, I put out a video about Christian gospel singers dressing inappropriately and not like holy people. And I had black women defending that slutty attire. You see? That's how gone your mind is. That's how gone your mind is. But again, that's already been prophesied in the Quran, that that which is wicked will be made to seem normal to them. That's exactly what we're experiencing. And like I say, I don't care about the greater society. I care about my people. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what nobody else is doing, or I don't care. I don't care. You understand? I only care about my people. And it's a problem to me because it's a problem for my people. Otherwise, I would not give a damn about it at all. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. And if I didn't give a damn about my people, I still wouldn't have nothing to say. Well, that ain't my life. I sure hate it for them. I sure hate it. I don't know what to tell them. Nothing I can do. Be very easy to do that. Very easy. Very easy. Obesity and all of it. We don't have that in Islam. We don't have that. We don't have it. When you live the life that God has ordained for you, I'm telling you, your whole existence will change. And you're not going to find it in that white man's fiction. You won't. I always tell you, you can't find something where it doesn't exist. You can't. You can't. Nobody ever harvested diamonds out of rose petals. They've never done that. Alright? I've checked with everybody on the earth and they've all told me that that never happened. You can't get something where it doesn't exist. You just don't. You don't. And lastly, I also always tell you that you should be educating yourself across all area, all genre of knowledge. Whether you think it pertains to you or not, you need to interest yourself in it. for your own good. You see? So you should be studying Islam. When I've given you the statistic and said to you, over 67% of slaves brought to these shores were Muslim, that there was an active campaign by these white devils to forbid them any practice of the religion. See, we didn't come here with that Christianity stuff. Certainly Jesus had walked the earth before then, and so of course some of our people all of our people had to have been aware of his presence having at one point existed on the earth. But they knew him in the context that the Muslim knows him. That was their relationship to the knowledge of this man, this human being, this person. But that got lost because they weren't allowed to practice it. And then when they were given this Christian vomit in 1821, they weren't allowed to discuss. They weren't allowed to use their own language. They weren't allowed to communicate with each other. They weren't allowed to tell any of the stories from Africa. So that set up your current day I'm mixed, or your current day Raven Simone. I'm not African. There's a direct link between what the slave masters did and her proclamation of that in 2015. You could draw a direct line from that to her. That's why I say you don't get to call yourself a conscious black person and still remain in Christianity. You don't get to do that. Because that's like saying, I know all about disease and poison. Quick, give me that goblet of arsenic to drink. Hold up, I thought you said you knew something about poison and pathology and diseases and poisons and stuff. You just said you did. You must not know anything. You must not. Because that's arsenic you about to drink right there. So you can't say you're a conscious person. Because a conscious person knows their history. They know their enemy, their environment, and they know their condition. And part of being able to know that, you got to know your history. You can't be a conscious person and end up in Christianity. That's against consciousness. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. But alas, I wanted to bring this because I felt like the value was greater than myself, And just to see what the reaction of my people is, whether you express it or not, that, oh my God, the Muslims have stepped forward to help them rebuild. Nobody else has. But that it's the Muslims. 3 organizations have stepped forward to raise money to help these people rebuild their houses of death. That alone should inspire you, if nothing else, to say, well, let me see more about these Muslim people. Because whether I like it or not, what the Jedi is saying is the truth. I don't ever hear anything about Muslims. I don't know anything about the Quran. I don't. But here he knows the Bible. He quotes it. He has said to me that Muslims know the scriptures. I've never even picked up a Quran. Maybe I got some searching to do. It's not about me, everybody. It's about you. In this life and the afterlife. It's about you. Nobody died for you. Nobody can intercede and vouch for you on the great day of judgment. You're going to be responsible to the Creator for every single thing that has to do with your life, because God has said so. He has said so. So you might be able to reject the Jedi in this lifetime, but the words I speak are the truth, and you will not be able to hide from that. There will be no corner that will shadow you from the truth. There won't be. There won't be. You need to see your journey to the next life as your very own, that you are responsible for, and you need to take ownership of that and responsibility for it, because you will be in a rude awakening on the great day when you realize that Christ did not die for you, and that you are not, all your sins are not forgiven, and that you had been required to live a certain type of life, and that you did not. And the very fact that you've heard me now makes you responsible for that. You see? Allah will forgive you if you had no idea. You had no clue. Just no idea. Because He said so. But you've been exposed to the Jedi. And now you will be questioned about that. It's like the child. You didn't tell them don't mess with something. They mess with it. But then you told them. Now they mess with it. They've gone against what you told them. And now you got to get the belt out. There's a sign in that. There's a sign. So I leave it there, everybody. I leave it there for whatever this is worth. I leave it there. This is the Jedi.